friends, this is Aaron Stone. To anyone who's listening, to anyone who cares, this message is for those who serve at the behest of the president, who's now considered a clear and present danger by the Canadian government and by the European nations. It's time you turn your back. If you work the gates, it's time you turn your back. If you turn on the lights, it's time to turn them off. If you serve food, it's time to walk out. If you drive him anywhere, it's time to throw away the keys. If you fly him anywhere, it's time to land the plane. It's time, if you're a sniper, to turn your rifle and put it down. Because whatever you were serving, whatever you were think you were serving, whether you're a Republican or Democrat, I'm pretty sure you didn't expect us to want to invade our allies on the whim of a psychotic. He's a clear and present danger. And sadly, sometimes the end justifies the means. And the end is hopefully to win back democracy, to win back our freedom, to win back normalcy. If you're in the military, I have no idea, I have no concept of the pain and suffering that you've gone through. I can only imagine what it's like to take directions from a psychotic as well as an alcoholic who doesn't deserve to be in his position. You have a mission. Your mission was to protect us from all terrorists, to protect us, to really understand that those people that gave their lives for this country didn't do it to protect the life of a despot. You know your mission. You know what you need to do. It's sad that it's come to this. But laws don't matter. Rules don't matter. We have a despot. And it's up to those that are within the power to turn their back. And for those who still have some power to become a hero. History's watching. The world is watching. We need a hero. This is Aaron Stone. Please spread this message. If you work in the government, please turn around. And if you know anyone who works in the government, make sure they see this. This is no longer a joke. We can't wait for the feckless politicians, Democrats or Republicans. They're fearful. Everyone's fearful. It's time. It's time.
Welcome to another episode of Seen and Heard podcast. I'm Sharon, your host, and we're joined again with my co-host, Ms. Kennis. And I don't know if that paused on your end, but it seemed like it was like there was a delay or something on the video, so I apologize if that's the case.
No, it played straight through.
Oh, okay.
The first time you did it, before we went live, it had pauses, but this one went straight through.
Okay. So yeah, that's a message. I hope someone can get the video was on my For You page, and he said that he was having problems sharing it, and I thought it was an important video, and I wanted to share it on the podcast.
So, do you think he's from a red state or a blue state?
Maybe a purple state.
Good answer. Thank you.
So what are your thoughts? I mean, we're, like you were saying before, like the Black community, I think the reason in the Black community we're just in shock is because we've studied and heard about the stories, the oppressive stories and Jim Crow and things like that, but never actually having to go through something that's dire like this. Like, I mean, I personally saw in 2015, I didn't know that we were going to be headed here, but I saw something wrong in 2015 when I saw how the people were reacting at his rallies and when he came down that escalator and all that. And I was just like, in my gut, I was horrified. And at that time, I started preparing. I was like, okay, it's time for me to go. I started preparing, trying to research how to get out of the country in 2015. Then he messed up the COVID lockdown, and here I am, stuck, trapped. I'm a hostage.
So, he played on the Tea Party. As the Tea Party came out, there were no mistakes about their intent, where they were going and how they were going to get there. But we sort of, summarily dismissed the Tea Party. When was the last time you heard anybody reference the Tea Party? You haven't. They just shuddered and went away. When was the last time you saw a tag that had "Don't Tread on Me" on it? They just disappeared.
Well, I actually, in my area, there is like a house down the street that is like a gunsmithing house, and he has a big flag, yellow flag in his yard that says "Don't tread on me." And then and then the tags, like the actual car tags. Mm-hmm. I went to get my tag the other day or a few weeks ago, and they asked me if I wanted "In God We Trust" on it, and I'm like, no, because I'm Buddhist. So, but they asked me that, so they have the car tags, so I can find them. They got them on their tags.
Okay, because
yeah, have you seen them?
No, nowhere. And in the DMV, they were all over the place. Everywhere you went, you saw Tea Party, "Don't Tread on Me" tags. We saw all of that, but not in the past 7, 8 years, maybe 5 years. They just disappeared. So it wasn't like it was a surprise that we woke up the first Wednesday in November 2024, and this is what we had. It's been quietly brewing. Donald Trump came into the White House the first time and said, "You should make me a dictator." People laughed. Donald Trump was in office. People laughed because he had orange hair, yellow hair, green hair, purple hair, whatever the color. And they didn't take him seriously enough. So that's why we're where we are. And again, all these people who are like, he's an embarrassment, he's this, he's that. It is important to point out 52% of all Euro-American women who voted in the last election voted for Donald Trump. We can't get away from that. 55% of all Latino men who voted in the last election voted for Donald Trump. 44% of all Latinos who voted at all voted for Donald Trump. We cannot get away from this. So all of a sudden now, it's like, having a sibling and somebody broke the fine china. It wasn't me. It was him. It was him. So now we're all sitting here, some of us traumatized, mortified, and whatever all else. And then the ones on the other side who created this, they're like, no, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. So I'm about sick and tired of hearing, put your gun down, do this and do that. No, I want us to do something that sends a message to Donald Trump and to what is he, 47 now? 45, 46, 47, to 47 and 47.1, we are not going to take this sitting down. And we're not going to go run and hide in under a tree somewhere with our buttocks up in the air.
And I agree with that because I'm stuck now. So my full-time job is to be a thorn in their side, any way, shape, form I can. And then on that, how do you explain Elon? So I'm actually, because I've never really paid him any attention, except I knew I didn't like him. And I knew that he wasn't the genius that he was trying to sell to everybody. Elon is father, allegedly, to 13 children, each from different relationships. His family includes 6 children with his first wife, 3 with ex-girlfriend Grimes, 3 with Neuralink executive Siobhan Zilis, which we'll talk about Neuralink later, and reportedly another with Ashley St. Clair. So the reason I'm bringing this up is a few days ago, Ashley St. Clair, who is considered some kind of influencer because I didn't know who she was, claimed to have given birth to the tech billionaire's 13th child. She's 26. St. Clair sent Musk's Twitter platform, I'm not calling it X, into a frenzy last week after alleging that the pair share a 5-month-old child. Musk, 53, is yet to directly respond to St. Clair and instead went on a social media tirade in the early hours of Monday, seemingly every other issue in his crosshairs except the latest claims that he had become a father once again. Now, there's the child that he said that is dead to him, which is Vivian Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
And they revealed that social media was the only way that they found out that Elon had welcomed another baby. So Vivian is one of the 5 children Elon shares, and she since dropped the last name. But Elon's daughter shares how she learned of her new half sibling. So she went to TikTok over the weekend and touched on the recent rumors that her estranged father had welcomed a new child. So Vivian didn't know about the new child and learned of it on social media as well. So what are your thoughts on I know he's a believer in eugenics as well too. So
okay. So when you say eugenics, you're talking about racial cleansing.
Yes.
Okay. So here's how I feel. Elon can make as many babies as he wants. He can take care of them. I assume he does. Let's hope he's not a deadbeat father. But if he can declare that his transgender daughter is dead to him because she's a transgender, I would put nothing past him. I'm going to go in a different direction. First of all, I would like to lift up a young lady who, through no fault of her own, woke up a couple of days ago and found 2 of her 4 children dead from hypothermia in Detroit, Michigan. This young lady, young sister, doing all that she can do and still not getting ahead. She, her 4 children, and her mother have been sleeping in her van since November while she has asked for help from the city of Detroit, and it went on deaf ears, and she was ignored. Suddenly, because it's on the news that she didn't lose just one of her children, 2 of them, 9-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, dead of hypothermia. Now, we're talking about fathers. So they found the father of these 4 children who said, well, yes, she did ask me to take them, but she didn't tell me why she wanted me to take them. She ain't said nothing about that she was homeless. Because and y'all who trying to come at me, you need to stand down. Because if she really needed help, she should have told me that she was homeless. We're in this together. Father, mother, father, mother. Alon, you have a chance to be a father to all 13 of your children, and you choose to say one of them is dead to you because of her gender ideologies. Number two, you have an opportunity to be a father to all 4 of your children. And just because she ain't tell you why she needed you to take the children, you didn't take them. And here we are talking about the state of this country. The state of this country is upside down. I agree with it. But these are 2 things that do not have to be upside down. Bro, you made 4 babies. She doesn't have to tell you why she wants you to take your children. Matter of fact, you should have been calling her, tracking her down, begging her for the opportunity to take your children. Elon Musk. So what if your daughter does not see activity in the bedroom the same way you do? Maybe that's a good thing, because you're the one out there making 13 babies, and maybe you haven't finished. I don't know what your goal is, 24, 36, whatever. So who cares? Love is unconditional, and parenthood should be unconditional. So you need to go find Vivian, I think that's her name. Go find Vivian, hug up on her, tell her how much you love her, beg her forgiveness. And bro, Mr. Dearby Dad of the 4 babies, where 2 of them were laid to rest today. I think it was today. They were laid to rest. If you had showed up for the funeral, they ought to have thrown rotten eggs, raw tomatoes, and anything else they could throw at you, because you didn't deserve to be in the space with those babies.
I saw his little video after that, they found it. Because when I first heard about the news, my first thought, because I wasn't really paying attention because there was some other stuff I was doing, but I thought, mother at a casino. So my first thought was, okay, she was probably inside gambling or something like that. But over the days, they span the news out over days, and I'm learning, oh my goodness. So she, no fault of her own, like you said, she was doing the best she can. And then to see his video, and he's like, oh, stop with the sob story. Like, and then on top of that, the new lady he's with is a Delta. She's a Delta. And
she's an educated, you mean she's an educated woman?
She's a Delta. So, I mean, by the looks of her, I don't know what their dynamic is, behind the scenes, but from the looks of it on the outside, it looks like she is funding that relationship. Yeah. So on top of the fact that, like you said, she's a Delta, which still doesn't necessarily mean anything, right, obviously, but educated, and they're showing off pictures of their Valentine's Day and going to these restaurants. And this is after the baby, his babies died. So it's like, what kind of woman is she laying up under him, knowing he wasn't taking care of his kids, and his kids just died, and he's just like, stop the sob story. Like, my thought behind that is, what do women like that think when, like, with that scenario? What does she think if she gets pregnant by this guy, how he's going to treat her and their child? Like, I don't know.
Well, if she's funding the relationship, then he can stay there in perpetuity. Make some more babies and some more babies. She is in control here, and she has to be the one to say, you got to go. I mean, I can tolerate some things in a relationship. I can. But I'm not tolerating a situation where not 1 but 2 of your babies. Reason the casino, she was part there because there was more light there, and she felt safer there. It wasn't because she was there trying to win some money. She was part there because she felt that it was safer, because she could be parked in a dark alley somewhere. She doesn't know what's going to happen to her down in a dark alley. She parked in the casino parking lot trying to protect, yet again, her 4 children and her mother.
And that's just so, especially in this economy. So he's got a place. The least he could have done was taking those 2.
No, he could have taken all 4 of them. All 4 of them are his.
And he's in the gym. And then the interview I saw him, he's got a very expensive Nike jacket on, and his hair is, the way that takes money.
Yes, it does. And again, I might tolerate some behaviors from somebody I may be involved with if it's just me and him, because that's up to me. I can walk away whenever I want. I can wake up one day and I got 6 brothers. The words that can come out of my mouth might be unmerciful. But when it's children involved, we're talking about babies. A 2-year-old little girl, she never even probably got an opportunity to have, even though, I don't play Christmas stuff, but for people who do, she never even got the excitement of a Christmas tree and seeing what that man that everybody swears comes down some chimney left for her. So for me, just for me and me alone, I'm glad I don't live in Detroit. I guess he has to live in Detroit because she asked him to take the children.
Yeah, I think he was not that far away, but I'm looking at here where she even went to trying to get, assistance from homeless agencies and
Yes,
shelters, and
we
they
tried
had
everything.
no help.
No response, none. Now all of a sudden they're talking about we're trying to find her suitable housing. You should have found her suitable housing before. So your hands are as bloody as are his.
It's awful
You hear
how
me?
all these institutions, and then to think that they were trying to defund all of these
Mm.
charities and institutions now. So now more people are going to be in a situation, with
It,
their
in the red states, we're gonna go back to the red states and the purple states again. What you all tried to do to make our lives impossible, it's gonna come around full circle and it's gonna hit you because racism does not discriminate. So it doesn't. I mean, it hits us the hardest. But well, let me not say racism doesn't discriminate. Let me say Donald Trump does not discriminate. Scratch the racism doesn't discriminate. Donald Trump does not discriminate. Elon Musk does not discriminate. What they do is I don't even like that. I just wasted a minute. It's not that they don't discriminate. They don't care. That's it.
Mm.
They don't care. So what if you voted for them, you got them to where they are? That's all they need from you. And now when all those social networks have been eliminated and you out there because you cannot pay your rent or whatever the case, you're going to find yourself in a similar situation. So I read a comment where somebody said, well, why didn't you go to the ER? Do you know what the ER does? They ain't going to let you and your 4 children and your mama sit up in there all night long.
Nope. And speaking of the cost of racism, this isn't a 2020 article, but according to Citigroup, racism has cost the U.S. $16 trillion, and that was 2020. So imagine the cost now. Black workers
Oh
have
my
lost.
God. Oh my God. Oh my
Mhm.
God. Oh my God. Oh my God. So let's talk about this article for a minute.
Mhm.
Citigroup. Prior to Citigroup, they've been renamed a few times straight out of New York. That article right there, Citigroup did not take any responsibility for their complicity in the enslavement of our ancestors back 200 years ago in New York. Now, there's an amazing book by Montero. His last name is Montero, where he says all that work that went into that report, not once did Citigroup take any responsibility for the role that they have played. And what they've done is lock all of that information away in a big old vault somewhere down in the basement, never to be found again. Go to the end of it where Citigroup says what we as Black people can do to help ourselves out. Not once do they say anything in there about what their role needs to be to make restitution for what they have done to people of African descent.
And not only that, the additional costs from the insurance companies.
And
they made money over. Yeah.
Yes, because they insured our ancestors. So all of the ways that they made money off of us, and Citigroup was right there at the table. They were right there at the table, right there. And at the end of it, where it says things that can be done, not once did they say that they were going to, do this and this and this and this and this and this and this. They didn't say that explicitly. They did not explicitly say we are guilty and this is what we're going to do.
And this is at the end. I'll post a link to the article in the description, but this is at the end, and it says, which I haven't heard any updates about this, but it said it would Wednesday they would direct $1 billion toward helping close the racial gap. Okay, this article was in 2020. I haven't heard any updates of any goals and then now that they're rescinding DEI initiatives all over the place, this is looks like a lie. I'm just gonna say a lie.
What Wednesday are they talking about?
Well, this was written in 2020. So it just said the financial giant on Wednesday said it would direct $1 billion. So whatever the day, I guess this article was posted, which was September 23rd, 2020.
You know what? I'm going to see if that person is still around, because I think we should ask them. So how many houses have been built? I think that's what it says. They were going to direct funding home ownership. How many houses have been built? And again, I trust Montero. His book says that Citi took no responsibility in that report for what they did. Now, maybe they said this is what we're going to do, but nowhere in that report. I'm gonna have to read it again and spend some time.
Yeah, and it also said, besides that, it said they were including investment of $550 million over the next 3 years and encouraging home ownership for people of color, and then another $50 million would go toward capital investments for Black entrepreneurs. Well, I'm one of those Black entrepreneurs that's been looking for funding and trying to apply for funding for my little media company here, and then they've taken all that away. Like looking at the Fearless Fund, being a minority woman.
But they never
sued.
Never put that money out there. That was just them talking.
Nope.
That money never.
Nope. And then now there's no avenue There's no avenue for me to go anywhere. So that's why I depend on you guys for donations and your support, financial support. That way, buying merchandise, that helps. What little bit helps. But yeah, I have been working and looking for years for options of getting business grants and for my
So here's a thought to the listening audience. We want to do some political satire. And the characters in our political satire are, you guessed it, 47 and 47.1. Send us some ideas on what you think that political satire should look like. It can be something on a t-shirt. It can be a little cartoon column. It can be whatever you think political satire should look like, because we need some money to grow the podcast. And this is one of the ways we think we can do it. T-shirts. Everybody love a t-shirt. Thank you.
Or a coffee mug. We can do that too.
Whatever. Bumper stickers, tote bags, coffee mugs, t-shirts, hoodies. Me, I'm a hoodie person. I'm in the DMV. I get cold quick.
I like hoodies too. But yes, we would love to hear from you guys. You guys give us some ideas, send us some ideas. We'll take that. And on that, we'll close out for just this episode. Don't forget to thumbs up, share, leave your comments. That all helps boost us in the algorithm as well. Share this video. I haven't been monetized by YouTube, so that's why I have donation links in my description box. So we would like to hear from y'all. We will share your voicemails, your video comments or questions. We'll share those on the show as well. So until the next show, we will see you later.
Peace out.